So
Yeah.
it's
Very
hard
simple.
to have a competition when there's no rules. Hence what I said, General Choi didn't like the sparring part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. At the same time, though, I can see like there being like a benefit to it as well, to the sparring aspect. It's
Yeah, it
just like
teaches you
you have to be just
timing.
aware of like what you what the rules are, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and
In a way.
then if you're fortunate enough to transition into different martial arts and then learn what your weaknesses are, like when I went from Taekwondo into Thai and Dutch, you can't. I grew up not being able to kick low, but I know how to kick, so I'm like, all right, well, now I can just do what I already know, but not have to worry about hitting above the waist. And then
Yeah.
things just started clicking. It took a long time to break old habits, though. And from there, I was able to learn what a lot of my weaknesses were when I went back to sparring some of my old friends that like Ula and Jovan.
Yeah.
And then they try and throw a back kick at me, and I cut the distance and clinch them up. And they're like, oh, crap, what do I do?
Yeah. So it kind of gives you like an edge the more like knowledge you have in a way.
Well, and that's why I first transitioned into those things because I wanted my Taekwondo to become better. I wanted to be able to exploit what Taekwondo practitioners are known for not being good at, which is having good hands or just constant pressure, maybe taking a couple hits because it's point based. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, those points don't only add up, but I've seen guys get knocked out, and it just doesn't take much. Once you get knocked out once, that's a mental thing. That gets in your head. So
Yeah. Obviously you've been I know that you've been fortunate enough to compete in ITF, right, which is obviously different from the Olympic style, like, because they allow punches and kicks.
yeah, just because they can like punch to the chest, which is if you think about it, like I told you, Kukiwan, right?
Yeah.
Look at what the rules for, say, Kyokushin is. You
Yeah.
can't
It's true.
you can't punch to the face.
Yeah.
They can throw knees and kick low, but similar aspect, they cannot punch to the face.
Yeah.
So you can see that, but you can see there's a big difference between the Kyokushin. Like they throw pretty hard body shots at least.
Yeah.
Where I think TKD uses it more like to push and like create distance. They're primarily just
Yeah.
kicking.
It's kind of like boxing, just but with kicks. It's basically kind of in a way similar to that.
Yeah, and it upsets me because Taekwondo translates to the way of or the art of smashing and breaking with your hand and foot, but there's no hands in WT.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, what's the point in this translation of this art when you can't use half of the tools you're trying to describe? So
It's true. Now I can definitely see like the problem with that because it's like, you know, like the hands are obviously very important in any fighting situation. And with kicking, you need a lot of distance. So it's like if you only restricted to kicking, it kind of limits your setup in a way for the
limits
kick.
your setup, and it's like a game of chess. I mean, if you're just so good at kicks, which WT guys are, and they can keep you at distance, you
Yeah,
can't get in with your hands. Now, if you're good enough or are, I guess you'd say, strong enough, or I don't know what the better term would be, to take one of those hit from the kicks to close that gap, then yeah, there's hard for that WT TKD guy to utilize his kicks when you're literally chest to chest on him. That's where they do your fadeaway turning kicks and spin kicks and everything. But imagine, say, you're in the ring on the ropes or something like that. It's very difficult to be kicking when you're on the ropes. I'm not trying to bash WT on all this. They're very fast, very amazing kicks.
yeah,
But it's just when it comes to the definition of taekwondo and when it's known and but they get a bad rep. I've seen how old school WT TKD is, and it looks badass, but it's not what it used to be from what I've seen. It's very tippy
yeah,
tap. Let's play let's play tag type of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean that's for sure. There definitely is like a pro to just isolating the training for kicking. But obviously the con is that your punches aren't that good. And I was gonna ask you like, so outside of Taekwondo, like what was the first martial art that you did after Taekwondo?
Uh, First martial art after Taekwondo. Well, I was doing, even though my dad taught jujitsu once in a while at Deep Park, as you saw. I was doing it for a small part of time. I would say first. That was my first one, was getting into BJJ for a while, and then college happened, work happened, took a break from that, and then I I had got my first job just so I could pay for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and then I noticed my entire paycheck was going to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was like, man, I'd rather just keep the money and stop taking BJJ right now while I'm in college and trying to have fun. So that was kind of why I took a break from that. But a little bit after, not long ago, I had transitioned to Thai and I'd say just mostly Thai at what's it called, top level MMA. But I had competed in many open tournaments against many different styles over the years growing up, from kickboxing, ITF Taekwondo, uh, facing karate point guys, fighting in point tournaments. I'm from that aspect. I've competed in all of those growing up. But all the high level ones I competed in were just ITF based.
If I'm not mistaken here, you also did like wrestling in high school, right?
Yeah, in high school I did wrestling, and I was actually an undefeated conference wrestler by junior year of high school. So
Oh wow.
I, I had taken out pretty much everybody, and then unfortunately my senior year, why I didn't get conference senior year, I had gotten MRSA like the very beginning of the season, and I was pretty much out for 3 months. Nobody wanted me in the gym. They didn't even want me to school. Like they were like, stay at home.
Oh wow.
Do not even come in. So yeah, I lost. And in my first match back, I remember you wrestled too. You have regionals. So being out the entire season, I'm the last seed. Have the least amount of matches. So who do they put me up against? They put me up against the first seed. So my first matchup is
Oh
against
wow.
the guy who goes to state, and we actually go into overtime. And I hit him with a move called a cement mixer. It's a risky move. It's like a big risk, big reward. So I hit it, and I wasn't able to finish it. And yep, that was it, senior year. So I didn't really get a chance to get conference again. I didn't get used to have the spotlight at Miles North wrestling where they would just have the light on the big mat, all the lights off, and you were. I didn't get that my senior year. So yeah, junior year was my last pretty much hoorah when it came to that. So incorporating that into, let's say, like Muay Thai. It's a, lots of similar transitions we can make, which is why I really liked Muay Thai. I was able to do a lot of things. Like clinch reminded me of tying up. I could do a duck under from wrestling in Thai if I'm sneaky about it and
Yeah.
finesse the guy. There's just a lot of cool stuff that went together that really made sense, and I had fun doing. It was like being in high school again. Like I had that opportunity again to show what I have.
I like that. So it seems like you train like a bunch of martial arts outside of even Taekwondo. But obviously, like I guess in a way, your bread and butter is Taekwondo because that's just what you grew up with. But
Yeah, I'd say good, as a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes we
yeah,
revert to bad habits, but sometimes it throws off the guys who aren't
yeah,
used to it.
yeah.
So I mean, you've seen, well, you've been doing it for a while, and I haven't been able to see you spar in a very long time. But if you ever come back to Max Gym, you could see me or Jovan or Ula or JC. And a lot of these guys who learn just strictly Muay Thai, it just throws off their entire game. Even when we've
Yeah,
gone to compete, they're just like hitting them with side kicks, back kicks. They're just like not sure how to walk the guy down with the usual Muay Thai esque, just walking them
yeah,
down. And I mean, perfect example is how you take somebody out like that. is that famous video of Rick Rufus, Duke Rufus's brother,
Oh, yeah,
that when he fights the Muay Thai guy. Have you seen
yeah.
that
I've
famous
seen that one.
video?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
So that's like, yeah, considered the video that was brought Muay Thai to the U.S. Like seeing an American kickboxer get destroyed pretty much, and seeing why
yeah,
leg kicks work. So
yeah, yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the benefits of like Taekwondo is that because most people don't train it, so it gives you that edge in a way.
yeah, it gives you the edge, and say like when you transition into an art like Muay Thai Dutch, you've better understood control, balance, breathing,
Yeah,
timing. Whereas when you first go into Thai, I mean, you learn all those things in that too, but it's much more. It's exponentially taken to another level when you're learning, I should say, a traditional martial art, not even Taekwondo. Whether it's you
yeah,
learn those things at a much slower pace because that's like the first thing you're trying to learn. Whereas Thai is stance and how to walk correctly and rhythm, but you definitely learn a lot more control and breathing, and I would say the traditional art aspect. And if you're fortunate enough to start in something like that and then transition, you will be far ahead of people.
no, that's true. Because it's like me personally, I actually never really felt like a beginner just because I like trained in a martial art beforehand, right? And it's like you can take what you know from there and like add it to what they're teaching you.
Yeah, it's all about being able to utilize and master that art as the practitioner. A lot of people say, "Oh, Muay Thai is better than Dutch kickboxing." I very rarely hear Dutch kickboxing say that about Muay Thai, but you just like Muay Thai is better than Taekwondo, or karate is better than this. There's like, but at the end of the day, you get a special case of someone who is able to make that style work. You get
Yeah,
Raymond Daniels, a point fighter in Kenpo karate slash Shotokan. I mean, look at him. He's so good at time. Look at Wonder Boy Thompson. He's a different Kenpo. There's different types of Kenpo karate.
yeah,
Look at his style. Given he's gifted with very lanky limbs. Look at Lyoto Machida, George St. Pierre, Conor McGregor. He's known for training with an ITF guy in Ireland. So it's like you can see the roots of the traditional aspects when they start to mix that in. Anthony Pettis. I mean, you can see it. The timing, kicks you don't see people doing in the the Muay Thai and Dutch. Now I see Dutch guys and Muay Thai guys do it, but I have a strong feeling they learned it somewhere else first.
yeah. That's true. No, it's like the origin of martial arts is very interesting because even with like Conor McGregor, as you mentioned, like I remember his when he like first joined, like one of his bigger criticisms of like the martial arts that people were practicing, right, is that they were too stiff and too like firm with like the Muay Thai style, whereas he was a bit more fluid when he came in.
Yeah, I mean, you see how he was when he first moved, but before ego got into the game, he's
Yeah,
very, very flowy, very relaxed, constant movement, kind of like Raymond Daniels is. Raymond Daniels even, I don't know how it happened. He competed in a very, very big ITF Taekwondo. Like he got to the finals. He competed in a full contact ITF competition against Ukraine, a Russian guy. I don't know if they were biased because it was an ITF comp and he lost, but you could see it. They're all constantly moving, staying flowy, trying to stay relaxed. And